This is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of Gamers Council. I'm your host, WebDave. RHETRI is taking a little time off, and he will be with us hopefully next week if he's feeling up to it. He had a little bit of, I guess, a family emergency. His mother had passed away the other night, and he had been expecting it. The family had been, but of course, it's one of those things where, you never truly are ready for it when it happens. It happened to me a few years ago. I know. Pretty much all of us have been through something like that in our lives. So, but we're kind of dedicating the show to in her memory tonight, and we're gonna keep on trucking because that's what he wanted us to do. So we are gonna be here. We're gonna have a great show because I have such an amazing panel and an amazing guest host as well. Guest host is Asante. Kay, how are you doing, sir?
I am doing well, and shout out to RHETRI and his family. I hope all is well. As a proud mama's boy, I say condolences to you and yours, and we'll keep the Gamers Council flame burning until your return, sir. But I'm happy to be here, and I see all the wonderful people in the chat already, and of course we are joined by esteemed returning champions and new champions. So I'm happy to be here, be a part of it. Let's go. This is going to be a good one.
He's going to be a good one for sure. In fact, on this particular program, both of these guests are brand new to the show. So I'm going to start with ladies first.
Not
on this. This is his first appearance. But we're going to start with ladies first. Luca, how are you doing, darling?
Hey, what's up, guys? Luca here. Yes, thank you so much for having me. I am very much looking forward to having a conversation with you boys. So yeah, let's get it in.
Excellent. And then, of course, the reason I'm even doing podcasting today is the one and only Mr. Boomstick XL. Boom, how you doing, sir?
That is too kind, sir. I'm sure you'd be podcasting without me. Listen, I'm happy to be here. I'm sorry it took so long for me to be on the show. Obviously, normally the weekends are dedicated to Mrs. Boom. But she obviously knows that, I owed you this because, you're on two of my shows. So it's literally the least I can do. You did a big giveaway, and I get to hang out with Asante, who, by the way, I talk to pretty much every day, and Luca, who I have not worked with in like forever. And it's so awesome. Long. It is so awesome to hang out with you, Luca. Everybody, welcome. Please, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Of course, while you're here and you're hanging out, put your feet up, grab a Dr. Pepper because that's what I drink, and listen and hang out and hit the thumbs up button.
Exactly. All right. Well, Kay, as we always get this thing started, I'm going to start with my guest first. So I guess that's kind of the way I am, and it feels funny because like you are a guest, but you're.
Oh no, I've been here before. I know where the fridge is. I know where to go get the drinks. So you go ahead.
Sweet. Got the Bud Light on tap for you. Oh no, not Bud.
Indeed.
Oh,
let's go.
Luca like that one. Luca. So I guess the question is, what games are you playing and shows and movies are you watching?
So I am currently playing Remnant 2 on PC with Slow-Mo Backslap and Gaming Forte, the DPS boys. We have been having a lot of fun with that because the game doesn't let you carry over progress between your characters. We've been alternating. So have we gotten any real progress done in the main campaign? No, not necessarily, but it's been a lot of fun. That game is excellent so far. Very minimal complaints compared to the first Remnant, which that game made me so angry at the end of it and during the middle of it too. But so far I've been really enjoying that. I've been hearing some great things about Baldur's Gate, so I'm eyeing that, but I don't know if I want to wait for it to come to console or not. So it's one of those things. But as for what I'm watching this guy named Caleb Hammer on YouTube. He does this fun show in which people come on and they talk about their finances with him, and he comes up with a game plan in order to get them out of debt. But the way he does it is he's very your life is over, that kind of thing, clickbait kind of thing. But he seems like he's a very nice guy. So it's just interesting to listen to him discuss these things.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna check that out because I hadn't heard of that myself. That's cool. That's cool. Thank you so much for sharing that. Because and we're gonna get into some topics tonight. And of course, with the chat, we can turn and go in different directions. So you just never know where we're gonna end up tonight. But we're gonna have a little bit of fun. So, Mr. Boomstick, boom. What are you playing and what are you watching?
Well, as everyone knows, Mrs. Boomstick and I are incredibly addicted to Korean dramas on Netflix. They are phenomenal. Usually they're like 16 episodes, so it's a very long push, except when we binge watch them. We're watching one called Signal. There was a movie made with Dennis Quaid about maybe 8 or 9 years ago where he was talking with his son over a walkie-talkie in 2 different time eras. But this takes it in a different in a different direction with serial murders that they're solving over this radio. It's phenomenal. So I think we have like 6 episodes left, and we started watching it on Thursday. So we've been we've been putting in the work. As for playing, oh man, Double Dragon. I cannot say anyone that likes old school arcade beat 'em ups, if you're not playing this game, you're missing out. Honestly, it's one of the biggest surprises of the year. And for me, just like Ghostwire Tokyo, Dead Island 2 is just phenomenal. What an amazing open world zombie-esque game that has no right to be as good as it is. I mean, like I've said this before, it's been through 5 different development studios. It took 9 years to get it out since the trailer was shown at E3 all those years ago, and this game is polished in a way that you don't really see these days. Like when the game comes out, we almost kind of like have been trained to expect, oh, it's a buggy mess and they'll fix it eventually. This game comes out and it's just amazing. The weapon crafting is phenomenal. The traversal is phenomenal. The side missions are great. I'm using the guy who looks like Lenny Kravitz, which is awesome because he really does look like Lenny Kravitz. And I'm a big fan of that dude's music. So it's a blast. I'm really enjoying it. Two high recommendations: Dead Island 2 and Double Dragon.
Nice. So and those Korean dramas, do you do the dub thing or do you
negative? It has to be in the original Korean language. Subtitles are key. Just like anime, which of course Luca knows all about. If it's not subtitles, for some reason these American dubs they ruin it, man. It's just not the same.
There's some good American dubs lately.
A few. There's a few.
But I watch my anime subbed. So
there you go. And for me, I've tried. Unfortunately, I have dyslexia, so sometimes when I'm reading it, it's like, what's a Fisher snap? What? So so it's a lot easier to enjoy if it's dubbed, even if it's not right. Oh goodness. Okay, before we get to you, do you mind reading the first super chat from the one and only Drawn TJ?
Absolutely, yeah. Great support of the community member here. Drawn TJ with a $2 super chat saying Xbox should buy Square Enix and Sega by 50% in WB. He is in the chat right now. He's got his economics degree. He's sitting there. He's saying, "Look, man, I'm talking to you, Amy Hood. This is how you should dole out that Xbox money." And I, for one, sir, say, "Good on you. Yes, to all of that. That's fine." We shall see what they would do with Square, but no, I would see that'd be an interesting conversation at least.
Nice. Well, okay, so go ahead and tell us what you're watching and what you're playing.
Of course, yeah. So about what I'm watching and what I'm playing. So what I'm playing first, but what I'm playing brings me to a bone that I need to pick with Mr. Boomstick XL, because what it should be is a lot of prestigious, amazing content that I'd be watching and playing until Starfield shows up. I call him. We talk every day. I'm like, "Hey, buddy. I don't want to get into anything major. I don't need a monkey on my back. Starfield's right around the corner. Give me something light." He's like, "Oh, buddy, let me get something for you. This will be great. You'll have a great time." Have you seen this Double Dragon game? 32 hours later, I'm still playing Double Dragon.
Yep.
I have it on my Xbox. I have it on my handheld console. I have it on my big PC. I have it anywhere and everywhere I can so I can continue playing this game. It is so addictive. It starts off looking a little bit, oh, well, it's a good attempt or whatever. But then you start noticing something special about it, right? And you start getting into it, and it starts really getting its hooks into you, right? And this will transition into what I have been watching, because once I saw this thing was as special as it is, because Everborn Saga, shout out to him, he called me up. He was like, hey, man, I'm playing this Double Dragon. Are you playing this? I'm like, oh, Boomstick got to you too. We start commiserating. He tells me how amazing this game is. Long story short, he shows me a documentary by a guy called Top Hat Gaming. If need be, I'll put his the stuff in the chat. He has a documentary, a 23-minute documentary called "This Game Saved Double Dragon." And long story short, basically, it turns out that this Double Dragon game we're talking about is the Sonic Mania of Double Dragon. A person who loved the game so much, right, that he went to a YouTube channel, used this guy's YouTube channel to do all his research, built the game, and then convinced Arc System Works to let him use the IP.
Wow.
So what you're seeing is the culmination of two people's work. Oh, and a whole bunch of college students that they got them to help them. Two people, and they made that whole game. And it was so impressive that Arc System Works gave him the IP to finish it. So yeah, I've been playing and watching Double Dragons. It's gotten its hooks into me, sir. Now, so yes, I'll put the documentary from the YouTube channel in the show notes here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In the chat here. People should watch it. It's freaking awesome. It's like literally, fanfic in the best way possible. Some dude who really wanted it to come back and convince the powers that be, and now it exists. It's pretty awesome. Two people made the whole game. So there you go. There's that. And one pivot to what I've been watching. I just finished watching this, watched it with my wife, and we loved it so much that I will announce that I will make sure I recommend that as well. What is it? Hijacked, if anybody hasn't seen it yet. Apple TV Plus by Idris Elba. If you haven't seen it, it is very good. You should watch it. That's all I'll say. You should.
I love Idris Elba.
Yeah, it is great.
He will read a phone book to me, and I will watch it. Yes,
exactly.
absolutely. Yeah. Now I'm a little biased because he and I go from. He should be well. Yes, he. There was a moment where that could have happened, but now he's too good for Bond. Let's move forward, shall we?
Fair enough.
There was a moment, but no. If you haven't seen Hijack, you should. It has a good beginning, a middle, and some arguably an end. But it's fun. It's great, and it's Idris Elba being Idris Elba. So you have.
Can I make one more suggestion? Yeah. If anyone's a big fan of Idris Elba, and why wouldn't you be? He's amazing. He did a film that was on Netflix called Beast. It is freaking phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. It's about a deranged lion that's chasing him and his two daughters, and they're in Africa. Phenomenal work.
Nice. I'm going to get you to read this one out.
Absolutely. It's the legendary Gaming Forte with a $5 super chat saying, yo, my homie looking like she's the main protagonist in a Miami Vice movie. Love the glasses. Have a great show, gentlemen and my lady.
Yes, it's your boy Forte. Yes, I see you. What's up, my scum brethren?
That's right. I love it.
Forte, a cornerstone community member, no doubt about that.
Exactly. We've tried a few times to try and get him on. Hopefully, we'll be able to work that out. Forte, I'll call you out right here on the show. Would love to have you as a guest sometime. Just so you know, we'll work it out when you can, sir. Just let me know. All right. So as we start to move on, I want to welcome out the over 50 people in the chat right now. Thank you all so much. And just a heads up, I'm going to go ahead and throw this up here now. We are going to do the refrigerator giveaway, and it is a mini fridge. So it's a smaller one, not a big one, small, but it's really cool. And I have mine. I have just any other. I don't even use it for putting drinks in. I just have it because it looks cool, the light on it, and it also has a USB port where you can actually charge stuff off of it. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, so that is all you'll need to do is anytime tonight, put in the chat put in the hashtag Xbox lowercase. So just basically hashtag Xbox, all lowercase. Put it in the chat, and then probably around, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour from now, we're going to do the drawing and see who wins. And I'll remind everybody again if you forget to or now. So, but yeah, definitely go ahead and do that so that it starts getting in the ticker, and then we'll remind everybody again before the and everybody is eligible except for me. So even my guest panel can enter if they would like, but that's they don't have to, but it's up to them. So yeah, and also I was going to say Luca, if you wanted to later, the show you were talking about, if you wanted to, you could actually put that link in the chat if you wanted
Oh,
to.
sure.
That's up to you.
Yeah,
So
no,
that'd be great.
I think it's really good because watching it actually convinced me to pay off a couple of my credit cards. I was like, oh, hold on.
You know, that is
That's
really good. That's a
Yeah.
good thing to
Yeah.
do. I wish I'd been more financially stable in my youth, but now I'm super all over it, and my daughter is paying the benefits of that because I instilled in her the importance of it, and now she has got more money in her savings account than we do.
That's good. That's really
So
good,
there you
actually.
go. Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, I can drop it right now. Hold on.
Cool. I also, for me, shows that I watch, for whatever reason, I kind of like watching a few paranormal shows. I know. But the one I like the most is actually now gone to YouTube, and it is Project Fear. And it's a lot of fun because it's the family dynamic, and they're more realistic, and they're friends that have been friends since they were little kids. And they do this, and they all have other jobs, but they do this, and it's funny and fascinating to watch. And some of the things they come up with are kind of crazy. Also, RHETRI told me about this gentleman called his YouTube channel is TT, and then the Fine Print TT is how you would search for it, but the Fine Print. And he basically is, we're going to try and get him on the show actually, because he lives out of a van that he's customized, drives all over, has been doing it for like 3 years, and he's gaming from where these locations and stuff all over. It's pretty wild. He uses the Starlink setup, Elon Musk thing, and it's fascinating. And he's a pretty funny guy too, as well. So yeah. So anyway, that's my recommendation, and we are going to get into some gaming conversation. How about we do that? That would be awesome. Let me scroll down here and get to our first subject. Kind of, like I said, and we can turn this any way we want to. And we'll just kind of go around the horn, see what people think about this. And on this one, guys, you guys just want to jump in. So, biggest ever Gamescon for Xbox. I mean, wow, there are really seems like they're putting all the stops in, and gonna just even Phil's there. Most of the staff that we know are gonna be there at this. It's looking like it's really gonna be a big thing at Gamescom this year. They got the exclusive theater presentations with Starfield, Forza Motorsport, and Aura. And then they also you can play if you're there at the con, you can actually play Xbox exclusives, Towerborn, Stalker 2, Party Animals, the Lamplights League, and let's see, there's like 25 more that are going to be playable. So, and then they're also going to do some live streams from the event as well. So definitely be watching some of that. So guys, anybody jump in? What do you guys think? Are you excited for this? It's almost like almost an E3 all over again.
Well, I mean, listen, Gamescom is huge, right? Like, it is one of in regards to foot traffic, they have the most every year. And I think there are a couple of stories coming out of Gamescom that are incredibly interesting. One of which, PlayStation decided to skip it altogether, which is a little bit shocking. But they don't really. I mean, Spider-Man is going to be fantastic. I'm super looking forward to it. But if that's all they have, they've already had a Spider-Man presentation, and they did it where you'd expect them to do it, and that was at Comic-Con, which happened a couple weeks ago, and that was a big blowout of Spider-Man. So, I mean, from a finance point of view, do they, if they don't have anything to show, do they really need to attend? The answer is no. From a financial point of view, but from a fan's point of view, I'm sure that people that are disappointed. In regards to Xbox, and I said this before, I think they have Sony on their heels. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. I'm saying Sony has one game coming out. and Microsoft is on the cusp of closing ABK. They had a great start with Hi-Fi Rush. They fumbled the ball with Redfall, which just launched broken. It just was a broken game. It's unfortunate. The one black eye that they got, they recovered from it. They dusted themselves off, and now for the remainder of the year, Microsoft, or specifically Xbox, should be hitting on all cylinders. Starfield's is gonna slap. Motorsport is the following month. If my theory of the 10-year contract from the new Sony contract comes to fruition in my point of view, then Xbox gamers are getting Call of Duty 23 in Game Pass. And talking about Gamescom, bringing it back around, people are going to be, who have boots on the ground, are going to be able to play Stalker. Stalker 2 is going to be, it's running in Unreal Engine 5. It is a next generation title. I could not be happier for that studio. They have really been through the ringer. You got to understand the fact that this game is releasing and it's going to be finished is a miracle in itself. Obviously, they were displaced from the Ukraine-Russian war that is still going on. They've had team members that actually worked on the game that stayed behind and perished in the line of duty. And even with all of that going on, they got their families to safety. They're in another country altogether. They have a whole new studio, and that game is going to be playable. So it's a triumph in so many ways. But for Xbox, it's their biggest presence ever. And that tells me that we're going to get something special. We know what's going to be there, but I think there's one more thing. And I say that only with the confidence of Phil Spencer has done a lot of traveling this year, especially regarding ABK, and he has really, rung up the flight miles. I don't think you get Phil Spencer to fly all the way to Germany from Seattle if they're not bringing something in tow. Again, I could be wrong, and I probably am, but I kind of feel if the team is going to be there, they're going to have something special to show. So we will see, but I'm very excited.
I want to touch more on the Stalker devs, and I think it's like a testament to their love and passion towards that franchise and the game. The fact that they're even able to get it out, I have to say I have nothing but admiration for them towards that. And I'm glad that they are now in a location where they're safe and they can like outside the game. I'm happy that they're okay. Despite some of the losses that they may have had, I'm glad to see that things are going well. And a lot of people would have understood, take as much time as you need before getting to get this game out. Like, the game's not even a priority, but it's nice to see that, again, it is a testament to how deeply they care about the franchise, that they're trying to get it out. I did not know that Phil was going to be at Gamescom along with the other, members of Team Xbox. So I think that's really interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they may have to show. Now, I did see something interesting pop up about people whining about there not being any Starfield demo. If we do touch on that at all, I do want to say
You go
that
ahead.
I don't really understand why people think that there would be a demo for Starfield. Bethesda doesn't put out demos for their games. Like, turn this on. Turn this on, okay? And this is what it goes back to.
That's
these
the Luca
people.
we know and love.
Okay,
Yes.
it goes back to these people not actually playing Bethesda games. I'm like, what are you talking? Demo? What are you talking about? They don't do that. So I'm over. Like I said, we all know it's Bethesda. Are there going to be issues? Absolutely, but I don't think it's like, I've seen some people saying it's going to be as bad as Redfall. Okay, first of all, Redfall had slideshows as as cutscenes. So there's nothing. Listen, don't compare Bethesda Game Studios to that atrocity that Arcane put out, which is unfortunate because Arcane, they're great. They are great. At least I like the team that did Dishonored, because I'm a huge fan of Dishonored. The first Dishonored is absolutely phenomenal, and then Dishonored 2 is very good, along with Death the Outsider. Like, those are some really good games. So good luck to them, but I'm not really all that concerned about Starfield as it stands right now. I know the narratives that people come up with to try and make there be a problem with Xbox. Like, dude, who cares? Like, come on.
I think a lot of that
Exactly.
narrative that you're talking about, Luca, seems to be, and it's a running theme. We've seen it. There are folks, which I will never name because that's not the game I play. I'm too old for that. So we don't point fingers. Have an opinion, it's fine. But people have dedicated and built their channels on Xbox hate because, unfortunately, as we know in this world, hate sells. Hate sells newspapers. It sells the local news. It's just what sells. I think when Luca yelled, "Turn this on," I think she really was onto something because when they went with this narrative, Luca, no one ever made it the connection that 5 days later the game is out.
Yeah, like what's the point of the demo? Like, what is the point? The game is coming out. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
They
days
need
later.
someone to be paid, some schmuck to be paid who will stand there and hold his watch and every 10 minutes go, okay, give me the controller back. Because that's the only thing you'd really be able to do that with, right? Have the full playable thing there and take it from people every 10 minutes. Because what demo would be that? To your point, they never make demos.
They never do it, and we've already seen so much of the game. Like, bro, like I can wait. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Again, it's Bethesda. If there are issues, I mean, there are issues. It's Bethesda. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
One thing it seems like, and okay, I'll didn't mean to interrupt you. I'll let you go. But it seems like that they've been, they've pushed it back, and they've had so much more time to polish.
Yes.
I mean, I feel it. There will definitely be bugs because this game is so huge and so massive, and there's a lot of things that just you won't know until you know. But it's probably going to be the cleanest start that a Bethesda game is going to have, which will, I think,
so they hope, I suspect.
Yeah. But there's a few people out there, and that was the comment that I thought was new, and Boomy brought up on your show the other day, that Paris Lily, he was skirting around. He couldn't say who he had talked to, but that apparently that he knew somebody and had talked to somebody, maybe Phil, but that had actually played the game and was talking about how incredible it really is. And how massive. He's like, we have no idea how big this game really is. And he got his hype meter, way through the roof, which, I think we're all pretty hyped to try it. So go ahead, Kay.
Oh, no. I was just going to echo all the points that the esteemed panel has already done. I think Gamescom, their presence in Gamescom is exciting. And to the broader point, I think that shows on E3 shows getting some attention and not being quote unquote repeats or runoff content, it's finally time that is where that time is upon us, right? Like gaming has always been a global thing for a long time. Obviously now it's even far more global than it ever has been. As Mr. Boomstick points out, Gamescom dwarfs E3 in size every year. It has for years. So why is it that the only heavy news is expected at E3 and everyone else gets the trailer than everybody else that the people saw the first time, right? Every show should have exciting news, and every show should be a must watch, right? So I feel like, with Microsoft doing this, with Xbox doing this, it spurs more publishers and developers to try and make hay at these shows, not just save it all for E3, right? I appreciate that it goes, that all these shows get to be must-watch shows, and that will also, make the global community feel more included, rather than everything has to be in LA or everything has to be in the States. Bring some great news to other places and let them shine for a little while. So I, for one, I've already let it be heard here on the digital air. I have already put the receipts in. The RFC is already in place. For those who know, 2024, I'm going to Gamescom. I have family in Germany and I have family in the Netherlands, so nice. I'll be at Gamescom. I've already solidified that with the wife, so we're good. We're good. I wish I could have done it this year. It didn't happen because we were going to do E3. It didn't happen. It was a mess, but I'm excited to at least be able to do it next year and see family and be able to bring people and do that whole thing. So I think it's awesome. And I hope that this is just the beginning of that, right? Because they have so much studios now and more coming under their belt. They need to be able to announce things in events. And every time they show up, it needs to be must-watch TV wherever it happens to be, whether it's Keeley's or Gamescom or TGS, wherever they show up. It must be wow, because there has to be some crazy news that they drop there, and not a regurgitation of what you already know. You know,
Right. Yeah. Absolutely agreed. You guys are awesome and on point. One thing I wanted to kind of call it, there is going to be playable demo, and
Mhm.
hopefully that we'll get some kind of announcement of possibly, the release date on this title, which would be fantastic. And Boom, if you, I don't mean to call you out on this, but I would like, if you don't mind, because your show is going to have a special giveaway when the game does release. Would you mind telling everybody about it? This is on Boom's channel. When the game comes out, you'll definitely want to tune into Boom's channel for this. But I kind of want to give him the chance to, because what he's doing is, I think, absolutely amazing. Go ahead, Boom.
Well, I mean, listen, I've talked about it for probably about a year. We even had a small, like a little commercial that we built for it. So obviously through the trials and tribulations of GSC Game World, Mrs. Boomstick and I wanted to do something special in a mom and pop kind of a way. And because the channel is small and we don't have investment from Microsoft or anybody. This is all funded through the community, through super chats and channel memberships that we just put away. When the game is announced on its release, we are purchasing at full price 15 copies to give away. Now, if you do the math, it's 7643 times 15. That's what we're spending. And it's going to be our small way of making sure that the dev gets paid. Now, granted, they're going to get paid from Microsoft. They got the bag, and Microsoft has been helping them behind the scenes. I don't know how much, because I'm not a part of the team, so I have no idea. But this is not a corporate sponsorship. It's not a corporate, Microsoft is giving me the codes. Nope. We take the super chats, we take the channel memberships, we tuck them away, and we're going to have this big giveaway, and we're going to have a special release party podcast. And during that 90-minute or 2-hour stream that we're going to have gameplay. I'm going to see if I can get a couple of the devs to join us, and we're going to give away 15 copies to anyone that's in the chat. You don't got to be a channel member. We just let the picker do its thing. And it's going to pick 15 winners, and we're going to get you the code. And of course, that code is going to be a worldwide code, and you can play it. You can get it on PC or you can get an Xbox. But yeah, we're giving away 15 copies at full price. I mean, that's the whole point, is to make sure that the studio gets paid. And even though we're small, we can still do big things.
Every little bit helps, and I think it's phenomenal that you're doing it, because 15 copies. I mean, that's a lot of chances for people that are coming to the chat that day 100%. To win, and I think it's fantastic. So kudos to you, and that's why I wanted to call it out, because it's one of the amazing reasons I first tuned in to Boom's channel, is because of all the work he does for giveaways, charities, and things and events, and it makes it a good, fun show for everybody. Sometimes we cross the line here on this show, but that's okay.
That is fine. Sometimes you got to cross the line or two.
Well, Kay, do you mind reading this one out? Luca, the crowd loves you, by the way.
Absolutely. Enigmatic Dreams, great supporter of this community. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. He has a $5 super chat, and he wants to say that he just wants to show support to Luca. He said he's so glad to see you here. It's been a while since he's seen you on a show, and we all should be proud of the content that we make, and we are thankful.
Well, thank
to
you
have
so much.
great,
That's so sweet. Yeah,
absolutely great community members that see you this way and see us this way, and come and support us. Thank you, guys. It's great.
Yeah, it's like I was telling Luke in the green room beforehand. I feel really blessed that we have her on the show, and she's always welcome here, because her opinion to me matters just as much as anybody else.
Appreciate you boys. Thank you.
Well, there you go. So with that, before we get too far off from Gamescon, as it were, there is another. Let me click my banner button. I'm hitting the wrong buttons all over the place, guys. Let's see here. So there's a rumor that there might be some new game announcements at this. What do you guys have any kind of? Now this is, we'll say this is a speculation town time. By
the way, I'm a co-mayor. I'm sold.
He is.
And Matt, we're co-mayors of Speculation Town.
There you go.
At least in my side, it's always snowing, and it's cold, just the way I like it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And we got over 60 people in the chat too. Welcome out, everybody. Greatly appreciate you guys. And Luca, we'll start with you if you'd like, to just kind of like, what could possibly be something new that they may announce, coming out at Gamescom, or at least I say coming out, but at least maybe announce a release date or an actual pronounce the title. Anything you can think of that might hit you? Or you'd like to
Honestly
see?
speaking, I think it's completely plausible that they could announce some new games. Like, absolutely. I wouldn't know for sure though, in the sense that I can't really think of anything they might be working on as it stands right now that they would announce at Gamescom and not at their own show from a few months ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Well, the nice thing is that we have the GamesCon coming up. Then we have the Tokyo Game Show coming up, where they can make some announcements, and it could be anything from some purchases to who knows what. Hopefully, the ABK deal will be finished in the next few weeks, or at least enough that they can close this puppy down and move on and make some more purchases. We're hoping that they do. And then, of course, they have the Keeley's and Award show at the end of the year. So as far as spreading things out, there's definitely opportunity for them. And with all the studios they have and are soon to have, it's pretty open to pretty crazy as to what it could be if anything. Anybody else got any thoughts or anything you might want to a guess at what you might think?
Well, I mean, this is, as Kay and I discussed before, this is a European show, right? Obviously, it's in Germany, which is a huge part of Europe. They are showcasing European talent, which is why Stalker 2 is the headline. But Microsoft, as you may or you may not know, has quite a few European studios. And there's one that jumps off the page for me. Machine Games is out of Europe, and we know that they're working on several projects, one of which is confirmed to be Indiana Jones, and it is in fact an Xbox and PC exclusive. It would be pretty dope to see that, but I'm going to take it a little bit more further. We're in speculation town, so let's go crazy. We've all been wondering where Wolfenstein 3 is, right? I mean, it's Germany, it's Gamescom, it's Wolfenstein 3. I mean, it all kind of just fits like a glove. Maybe we get a chance to see what that looks like. I mean, those are my two hot picks.
Well, it sounds good. That sounds good. Kay, any thoughts?
Now, Mr. Boomstick, I have to now be the actually guy on you, because I would love to see, and I'm gonna do my best to be my Boxenberger here. I would love to see Wolfenstein 3. Wolfenstein, yes. But the weird thing is that game is always different in Germany than anywhere else. So how would they show it? Right? They wouldn't show it with Nazi paraphernalia and any of that, because they're not allowed to do that in Germany. That game never released in Germany with what we know as actually Boxenberger, as hear him tell it, he got his account banned for downloading the proper version of that game.
Wow.
Yes. So Wolfenstein has a very interesting history in Germany. That'd be interesting if they were to announce it there. That'd be wow. That would be amazing. Yes, absolutely. No, but I don't know. I think you're absolutely right, Boom, that somebody like Machine Games, could take center stage there, right? Wolfenstein being an interesting choice, but hell, you already know they're making Indiana Jones. Why not release some footage? Why not show some things off there? I saw some folks in the chat talking about it. Contraband, right?
Yes.
The Avalanche that's working on that is also a European studio. So why not Contraband, right? So obviously, I always consider it a little pandery to make sure that you go, oh well, they're having a European show, so they're gonna dig through the crates and find their Europeans. But chances are that's what they're going to do, right? Any of those European studios get center stage, just like TGS gets your Asian studios getting center stage. Yeah. So I expect that's one of those. Like obviously, for me, it's the known, it's the unknowns that excite. The games that will be the eventual hi-fi rushes, right? The stuff that you didn't know coming, and then they drop, and then you're completely excited about it. Those are the things that excite me most. But I do want to see some updates. You know, they have, as we just discussed, they have a lot of studios under their belt. We have a lot of code names that we know about. We have an E3 of past, like when they actually had an E3 like where they had a whole bunch of games they showed off, but many of them haven't been paid off or gotten any updates yet. So there's a lot to be mined there. So, you know, I'm excited. Again, like the main point is I'm excited for them to come to every show with something actually substantive and new, right? You know, substantive and new. Not this, oh, look, we put a skin in an ESO, right? I get you, cool, but that's not substantive. I mean, substantive, right? Something that's E3 worthy.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I feel like more and more, because they have so many different studios and they have so many different flavors that they need to now cater to, that there's always opportunities to excite a new base. So hopefully that's what we'll see here and moving forward. You know.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, you know, who knows? Maybe they'll announce the the Santa with a shotgun exclusive Call of Duty skin. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. Speaking still in speculation town, I'm gonna apparently kick this banner off. Boom. There's a little podcast which I know some of us watch, and that have a little discussion in their rumor mill section, and that's Xbox Era podcast. And I wanted to play just a little clip from what Special Nick was talking about the other day, and maybe we want to see if we want to talk about any of this. Just, you know, see what our thoughts are on this. Let's do the share thing here and fire that up. And yes, we do want to hear this one because he's talking. Let's make sure I did that right.
So what I've heard is that Microsoft are currently looking into
You guys hear him?
a
Perfectly.
a digital only Series X.
Just put up the volume a little bit. There you go.
Which I think a lot of people have wanted for a while.
Yeah, because I can imagine it would be a lot smaller. That's a big chunk of space.
Would it be a lot smaller?
Yeah, it's a huge chunk of space taken up by a disk drive. I would say it would be a significantly smaller.
So I wonder if the digital Series X gets considered the Slim. Would it get considered the Slim then?
Maybe.
Please, that's not part of the rumor. That's me speculating now. Because I didn't think the disk drive took up that much space. And this is the other part of the rumor, and I can't go into more detail than this, frustratingly. There is also plans for other hardware in 2025.
I like the words other hardware. That's a nice word.
Other hardware in 2025.
Hardware. Sign me up.
Now, the DM doesn't specify the digital Series X being 2025. I'm assuming that alongside the other hardware is all 2025 is currently the plan. But yes. Yeah. I've heard they're looking at a digital Series X, so a diskless Series X.
Interesting.
Very.
We lost
Luca. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
She'll jump back in, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's look. Look, here's the thing, folks. Okay, I've said this before. Kay said this before. It's what I want to see in the evolution of the next Xbox. I don't know if they're fresh. Oh,
we got an update. She says her power went out.
Oh crap!
Oh, no.
All right. Yeah, I just see it. All right, so we'll I would imagine she'll jump back when her power comes back. We're on the end of the line. That happens every now and again.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. You know what they say about copying other people's things. I want a powerful next generation console, but if I'm going to go and wish upon a star, I would love to see the next Xbox be a hybrid of sorts, almost Switch-like. I'd love to see a ROG Ally kind of a power when it's portable. You you got a nice 7 or 8 inch, like LCD screen or even like an OLED screen in there. It gives you the power in your hand of like a Series S, which, as we know, as we get further into this generation, the chip sizes and everything starts to shrink because they learn how to do that. And if I'm being serious, let the actual dock be hardware. Like, let it actually have processing power that when you take this device and you dock it into it, it gives you this power of the next generation hardware. I don't build things for a living. I mean, listen, I could barely tie my shoes, so it's fine. But I'm just gonna say that if you want the best of both worlds in a new version of what Xbox can be, and I think that the reason why this is a possibility is because they're going into mobile. They obviously have Xbox Game Pass. They're going into cloud gaming. This next device, if it is what I hope that it is you're going to be able to take your Xbox, play anywhere you want on the go when this handheld is not docked. And when it's docked in there, it's going to show up on your TV, and it's going to be what the next generation power hardware is. Okay, is that even possible?
So I will tell you right now, if I close my eyes and I drink a little, because I'll need to drink a little for you to sound like it, but if I drink a little, you will sound like Everborn Saga, because this is literally what he has been like chirping my ear off about for the past 3 weeks now. Like, hybrid console. Stick it with me. It's a mobile thing, and then when you put it down, and it's got the hardware in it, and now all of a sudden, boom, bam, bam, it is now the next gen console. Yes. So, is it possible? Absolutely. Is it possible in our current paradigm?
Probably not.
We're close. We're close. No, absolutely. We are close, right? Because, like, believe it or not, and you can't see it now because it's blurry, but right over there are all the little handheld devices right now, right? And they are all right there. They're all right on the cusp of it, right? And they use shout out to Lucius Augustus. He and I, we all have this conversation. Myself, Lucius, him, Everborn, John Wolf. We're always in the DMs, literally talking about handhelds, and this is a conversation that comes up all the time. But needless to say, there the third parties and the handheld manufacturers have done so much work in that time, right? Before, the only chips that AMD was responsible for in that small form factor was the Series S and the Steam Deck. And now, besides laptops, that 7 series CPU, that APU that they're using is everywhere. And what does that do? It modernizes the chip. It matures the chip. So as they're iterating, the very next iteration of their chip benefits from a lot of those optimizations that the last one benefited from. Cheap plug: we had a very great content creator, YouTuber, handheld PC focused YouTuber called The Fox on my show. He seems to think that Microsoft is Trojan horse preparing their developers for that hybrid future you're describing all along, because the Series S, specifically the Series S, has a lot more horse in the tank, a lot more fuel in the tank than they allow for, right? Because the Series S itself is a small machine, right? But since you plug it into a wall, you can presumably crank it open, put a higher performing cooler on it, and just let it perform really high. But for some reason, they have clocked that CPU and GPU very, very low. And he seems to think that's because they're priming the pump, so the very next generation of the hardware will benefit from all those optimization and updates. And then every Series X and S game they're building today automatically becomes the hybrid games of next gen, right? And a lot of the technical tea leaves are there, right? He's just reading them a little ahead of schedule, and he's convinced that that's what's going to happen. So no, it is out there. Phil always talking in glowing terms about the ROG Ally. Once the numbers card coming out, how good it was, he started CCing on Twitter or x.com. he started Xing his head of software and his head of hardware. for Xbox, talking about, hey, we have more work to do. You know, they are all in on this thing, and it's a really, really exciting space. So yeah, a next gen, or I mean, next gen Xbox as a handheld, I don't by any chance, like I can see it 100%. Now, I will caveat all this by saying the source leaves me a little shifty, okay? Because this is Special Nick we're talking about, and he has a very, very sordid history with me. I'll just put this thing out here, and those who know what I am talking about. He is not to be trusted, that man. So I will take everything he says with a grain of salt. And if you don't know what this is about, how about the fact that he literally did want to see this whole thing that he did? He did exactly the same thing a day before the Black Series S with the 1 terabyte drive was announced. Oh, wouldn't it be great if they had a Series S with a black? Yeah, he knew that all along, and he primed the pump that way. So that man's not to be trusted. I'm calling you out, Special Nick. So needless to say, jokes aside, he's probably right. He's barely ever wrong.
Yeah.
So I think the chances are, if nothing else, he's gotten access to a prototype because they're out there. Absolutely.
Very interesting, for sure. Def Leppard, you crazy guy, you. I love it. And welcome out, Boss Mod, Lethal Papa, keeping things safe in the chat. And in case everybody's wondering,
Legendary.
exactly. Luca's power went out. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
she doesn't know how long it'll be out. Hopefully, she says she's gonna try and jump back in if it comes back on before her out deadline that she had, which is about 30 minutes anyway. So we'll kind of, we'll stick her. She's obviously, she can jump back in at any time.
Yep.
But that's unfortunately, sometimes real life happens, people. So
yeah, it does.
So there you go. If you don't mind, okay, Asante, we do have a super chat from Sith Lord. Been there for a little bit.
Absolutely. Great Sith Lord with a $2 super chat. Thank you for being here, Sith Lord. He says, loving this all-star cast. You are a blast. So are you, sir.
Absolutely.
So are you. Thank you for being here. Sith Lord, great. He's always in the DMs giving us like encouragement. Great member of the community.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. So I guess if you guys want to, we can go ahead and start talking about something I know is going to be pretty exciting for Boom to talk about. I wonder what that could be.
We've been lucky. These big news stories happening Friday afternoon, Friday evening. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. So it says from a tweet from the official Killer Instinct Twitter account, excuse me, X account, whatever you want to call it. Our friends at Iron Galaxy are back, and together we are bringing you Killer Instinct, a free 10th anniversary update later this year, including a balance update, improved matchmaking, and 4K support for the Series XS. Wow, more info coming soon. Guys, and Boom, we'll just go ahead and let you jump in on this because I know you've been calling for this and Banjo, but at least there's one. We're getting fire started on that one. So what do you think, buddy?
Look, here's the thing, folks. I didn't have it recorded because I was working at the time. I will never forget E3. I believe it was 2013 when we got the announcement that Killer Instinct was coming back, and the way they did it is in the most epic way possible. Screen goes black, the music comes on, and I've been a fan since the arcade days. Like I used to specifically spend almost all of my money either on Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, or when the arcade cabinet for Killer Instinct arrived in Nathan's. And if you're a New York native, you know that in Central Avenue they had this giant Nathan's arcade, and it had like 200 cabinets, and they had like a small little, Nathan hot dogs place, but that was very tiny as opposed to like this giant arcade that they had on Central Avenue in Yonkers, New York. And I used to work right across the street, which used to be Funko Land up the hill. So I used to, get done with work, and we used to run right over to the arcade and hang out there. And it's Killer Instinct, and I said this, it's funny because I wrote last year, it was like, I think it was June 4th or 5th, the XCast, which of course is, obviously Paris Lily, Snowbike Mike, and why did I forget his name? Gary Whitta. Paris had said something that he felt that the Killer Instinct IP really wasn't as important. I mean, and again, I love Paris. Paris is a great dude. Speaks his mind. So of course, like a gentleman that I am, I wrote to them, and I said, "Listen, I love the show because I watch XCast all the time, but I 1,000% disagree. I think that Killer Instinct is as important an IP as Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, and you could fight me on it, but I think it's a legendary IP." And when it was brought back by Double Helix, they did an unbelievable job. And of course, then in typical Microsoft good, luck, which is not really that good, Double Helix was purchased by Amazon, and they had to find someone to make the game. And this is where Iron Galaxy comes in, because Iron Galaxy took up the mantle of what Double Helix Games had did, and they were able to put two unbelievable seasons together. So now I don't know how many people don't know this guy, but if you don't follow him, I hear you. Maximilian Dude, which I'm trying to get an interview with. I shot my shot, folks. I threw it out there on the socials. I don't think he saw it. He's got 1 million subscribers, dude. Like, I'm just so small. But if you want that interview, reach out. Send those tweets out to Maximilian Dude. Tell him about Mr. Boomstick XL. He did a couple of years ago the hashtag Bring Back KI thing, and it took off. And if anyone knows Maximilian Dude, he's a fighting guy, and he loves Killer Instinct. He has worked with Iron Galaxy, and Friday afternoon or evening because I started getting the tweets like late, like boom, you're not gonna believe this is happening. As like midnight, I'm reading. I got 13 DMs. I'm like, what the hell is? Did I say something wrong? Is somebody after me? And it's Killer Instinct. So what is happening is Iron Galaxy is back now. Where were they? Well, after they got done with what they could do for Killer Instinct, they were hired to make another game for another publisher, which is why they did not continue work with Xbox. And then when they were done with their game, they decided to make their own, gas type of game. And it was a good-looking game. It just didn't hit with them. And now we have it on confirmed from everyone and everywhere that they're back and they're going to deliver a 4K Xbox Series X and S update on everything. They're updating everything on the old school Killer Instinct from 2013. And that's a really big deal. But where this kind of makes a left turn to Albuquerque is something that I was talking about with Everborn Saga. And the studio is relatively small. It would be under the cusp of regulatory eyes for an acquisition. And Everborn and I seem to think that because it's so small, and they could probably have picked up the studio for like 80 million, 90 million, even 100 million, again, under regulatory eyes, that they have already acquired this studio. Iron Galaxy is first party. And now it's starting to trickle out because you're starting to see some information on current devs that are apart that have these big titles. And it appears that might be, in fact, the case. And, Phil Spencer and Matt Booty, from what we understand during a lot of interviews, guys, they want Killer Instinct to come back. They just did not have the studio, and now they do. This is a big deal. And during the EVO event where this was announced by Maximilian Dude and, of course, Iron Galaxy, they said the next 10 years of Killer Instinct, which suggests to me that they're going to work on a proper sequel to Killer Instinct, and we could get what I have always dreamed about: guest characters in the fighting in a fighting game, very similar to what Mortal Kombat is notorious for. Except with Microsoft, they have so many legendary IP that they don't have to pay anybody. They don't have to pay the rights to these holders. They they don't have to get a Batman in and get clobbered, or a Wolverine in there. They could put Master Chief, they could put Doom Guy, they could put the Power Armor 76 in there. They could go for days. Joanna Dark could be a character. Senua could be a character. I mean, I've dreamt of this, folks. This is probably as great as ABK is, because obviously there's a lot behind that, and as great as like Hi-Fi Rush is, and it's still in my top 10 of the year. For me, as a diehard fan of this series, this could not have come at a greater time. And when I tell you, folks, Xbox is hitting on all switches. This is going to go down in history as probably the greatest year in Xbox ever. But I've talked enough.
I'll agree with you 100%. This is one of the biggest years in gaming so far, and we're not done yet. We're just a little over the halfway mark. Holy snikes! This is crazy. Welcome back, Luca.
Hello.
Luca, welcome back, darling.
You lost power. So sorry for that.
The power went out everywhere, or I'm sorry, the power is on everywhere except for in my room.
Oh.
And so I was like, I had to go downstairs, and I live in an older house, so those fuses, I had to flick those back and forth.
Fuses. Holy cow.
Yeah, because my grandma, she turned on a lamp, and then everything in my room went out, and I was just like,
Oh no,
you're kidding. Like, this is a joke? You're joking, right?
No.
So if that's why I'm in a different shirt and my hair's up, because I had to go to the basement. But anyway, I'm here. So
well, we
back,
appreciate that you have to suffer so much to be on our show, and we appreciate you doing it because we love having you here. And thank you so much for being here. And everybody in the chat was like, "Oh no!" There's a whole bunch of those when you ended up popping out. So you were missed already. Oh,
yeah.
There you go. But you're back now. So and we've got you for about 30 more minutes until we free the beast, as it were. We're over 100 people in the chat right now. Thank you all so much for being here. We greatly appreciate that. Well, the question, Luca, and we'll go to Kay next, and then if you want to jump in after that since you're just coming back in, is Killer Instinct is being updated, and they made announcements for that the Iron Galaxy is back. And they are bringing back a free 10th anniversary update later this year, including balances, updates, 4K support, and we're just kind of speculating if they'll be maybe doing more than that by the time it's all said and done. And what are your feelings about the game, that kind of thing. So, Kay, what are your thoughts? Oh, can't hear you.
Ooh,
there we go.
You can't hear me?
No, we can't.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. No. My thoughts, honestly, pretty much boom. I'm excited for it. Beyond that, I actually think it's exciting because we now know a lot that we didn't know before, right? So we now know that even though we haven't seen it come to fruition, they are fighting tooth and nail in the background there, trying to get things to happen, right? We've seen it with all the tea that has been spilled through ABK and all that. So with these announcements happening, that tells me at least that they have been listening for a while. And if Killer Instinct is now looking like it's in somewhat of a returning state, so might also be other questions that people have been asking to have answered. For you, Boom, bringing old Bird and Bears back to its fruition. Things like that. People have been talking about some of these things for a long time, right? A long time. They've questioned what Double Fine. Double Fine said, nope. You questioned Rare. Rare went, we're not looking at the past anymore, right? But clearly it's out there. Every time you hear Killer Instinct, we want Killer Instinct back, it's in that same kind of conversation of, and what about this other IP? And what about that other IP? So with this news, it tells me that, finally we're seeing all that work starting to pay off, and they're listening. So at this point, all you content creators out there, speak loud and speak proud, because they're hearing you. Maybe your next big wish is what will be on the next big announcement stage, and I think that's super exciting. That's awesome. They're definitely listening to consumers. You can see it by some of the actions they are taking. So it's great.
That is great. That is awesome. So, Luca, what are your thoughts about Killer Instinct and getting an upgrade?
Yeah, I think that maybe they're doing the upgrade to gauge excitement levels to see if people would
Mhm.
be interested in them doing another Killer Instinct. That's what I think, because it's
That's a
been
good
so long and
call.
people have been asking for forever to get an update for it. So I think that's what they're doing. And if the engagement's good, then maybe.
Oh, that's right on point there. I love that because that's a good thought because they don't want to necessarily invest the money if it's just a a little nostalgia trip for people. But if it's something that really generates a big response, that would be awesome. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Gosh, we got a lot of crazy, wild people in the chat, including Risky for the Biscuit just jumped in. I'm sure I won't be able to mention everybody, but I do want everybody to know there's over 100 people in the chat. Thank you all so much for coming in, and we got another quick super chat, and we'll get that in here real quick.
Enigmatic Dreams is a $2 super chat. I guess he took my advice to heart. He says, Xbox, you listening? Chop chop, buy Square, remake Parasite Eve. All right, be gone with you. Thank you.
Yeah, no,
well done, sir.
I do agree with that. Parasite Eve was an amazing game, lots of fun. Let's see. I do want to mention. I'm gonna flip some things over. I seem a little lost tonight. Well, it's not the same show without my partner, but we're gonna truck on through anyway. And I'm so blessed to have such an amazing panel tonight. And thank you all so much for being here. But we want to make sure everybody knows that if you're in the chat, and that's all you have to be is in the chat. You don't have to be a channel membership or nothing, and it can be anybody. Boss mod, this means you too, even moderators that are hanging out in the chat. Anybody except for myself, because it's at my house here now. So are eligible to win the Xbox mini fridge. And all you have to do is put in hashtag Xbox, that's lowercase, and it's on the screen right now. So if you're unsure, go ahead and make sure you get it done. And then probably within the next 20 minutes, we're going to do the kick off the picker and let it pick out some some one person's going to win, and it could be you, and I'll ship it to wherever it goes. So it's boxed up and ready to go, sitting right here beside me, already ready. All I got to do is just get in the address and everything into whoever it goes to, and we'll send it out. So that's hashtag Xbox, and it looks like that is working. We're using the actual StreamYard's tool. So right now over 23 of you entered. So I know there's more people in the chat than that. There's over 100 people in the chat. So you definitely want to go in there and just put in the chat, type hashtag Xbox, and somebody's going to win. Could be you. So just keep doing that. I'll leave that at the bottom for a little bit to remind people to do that. So somebody's going to win. Could be you. We'd love to have you. What's the old saying? You can't win if you don't enter.
Yep.
And that is so true, because one of these days I'm going to win the lottery if I just remember to buy those tickets. Dang. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Over 120 people in the chat. Thank you all, and welcome everybody that's here. Conversations can go wherever we want to in the show, and I just kind of want to throw this out there to everybody, because we're in the last week, I should say, week to 2 weeks of the ABK deal getting final, and I know ABK, but it's an important moment in gaming. When this deal is done, it's going to be the biggest transaction for a gaming company buying another gaming company. And no, it's not a monopoly, but it's going to be it's I guess Microsoft's dedication to their consumers, that they really want to show that they are there for you, and they're supporting you by giving you great quality games in a continuous basis, with most of the games coming to Game Pass, as Phil would say.
This is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
I love when he laughs in the middle. I can't help that. So guys, I guess we'll go around the horn. We'll start with Mr. Boomstick this time, and Boom. So what are your thoughts on the ABK deal? How do you think it's going? You think we're on the home stretch?
Yeah,
and
we're in the end game for sure. There's no doubt about it. Tomorrow morning, we're supposed to get some information from Australia. Obviously, they work directly with the CMA, which is Australia and New Zealand as well, which is why we haven't heard from them. listen, it's going to get done one way or another. I'm hoping sooner than later because I just kind of want the deal to be done and just move on to other things. And I go selfishly, Embracer Group's in a bit of a pickle financially. So of course I have to say that I want them to bring home Crystal Dynamics and Eidos. I think that again, I've said this since it happened. What a real miss. I get the allure with ABK. It's a big deal. $70 billion deal. It's going to bring billions of dollars to Xbox, but I'm not an investor, so I don't give a shit, right? Like whatever. But when Embracer Group got the Tomb Raider IP, these two studios, and 50 other IPs for $300 million, that's like in the couch cushion of Phil Spencer's office. Like he shakes the couch and $300 million compliant right out. And I say that because these two studios, Eidos and Crystal D, are working on Microsoft first-party games in Fable and Perfect Dark. So it makes perfect sense to go and get them from Embracer Group, who is hurting for money right now. But I think it gets done in the next 2 weeks. I'd like to get some information, maybe some this week, and find out exactly when. But I think everyone is just talked to death over it, man. You know, like the FTC failed, everyone approved it, and the CMA they had to walk back their nonsense. So just get it done. I think for sure in the next 2 weeks this deal is signed, sealed, and delivered.
There you go. There you go. From your lips to God's ears. that's what I'll say about that. Luca, what are your thoughts on this whole big mega purchase?
I can't wait for this to be over. I am sick of this conversation.
Thank you.
It's been played out for at least a year now. Like, I can't wait for it to be done. I cannot believe the FTC made this drag on longer than it needed to be with the flimsy case that they had. So I'm happy to be in the home stretch, and can't wait for us to move on to some better topics, the news, especially for them to find other things to focus on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I definitely do. Is there anything that you're excited about or for that could be come out of this deal once it's done, as far as like games coming to Game Pass or anything? Is there anything that's like, this is good because?
No, I'm not really an Activision Blizzard gamer. I was more enthused about the Bethesda deal because I play Bethesda games. So
yeah.
Nice. Well, like I said, don't know to ask. That's why I want to. That's why I wanted to check with you. But then Starfield coming soon. But you're looking forward to that, right?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Smile on her face says it all. Right.
That's
there.
a life-stealing game. That's going to steal everyone's life.
I know. Oh man, I'm ready though.
Yeah, me too. Kay, what are your thoughts on the ABK deal?
What she said basically. That's it. Like, wake us up when it's a wrap. No, but seriously, it's all been said. The attempts have been made. They were weak. They failed. Now it's just a face-saving measure, and it's a few weeks before we move on to other conversations, right? I for one will be excited when that whole thing is done, because we are basically there now. At this point, it's just crossing T's and dotting I's, and we're there in a matter of weeks. So we shall see what happens. I am more excited right now for that roundtable. Like, you played the tape from the last roundtable. I am excited for the T. Will freaking Bobby K be at this roundtable? What will be said at this roundtable? What games will be announced? I mean, they have literally a treasure trove of Activision Blizzard games sitting there that could, with a flip of a switch, be on Game Pass tomorrow. How will all that shake out? That's the stuff that excites me. I want to see what the finish line in this specific section looks like, right? But all the mishigas of how we got here, there's a lot that has been spilt enough already. Like, wake me up when they say the deal is inked and we're moving on to the next phase,
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. It's it has been a long road and a tiring road for all of us, and I definitely agree with Luca that it is like, there's so much more to gaming than just this deal. And there's and a lot of people I know Randall Thor 19 has called out that he feels that that there's been so many opportunities that they could have had and other things that were in the works, that because they've had to stay mum or stay on course with ABK, that they may have
Isn't
either
it-
missed out on.
Isn't it amazing how, like, for a $2, sometimes $3 trillion company, and look that up, that number, how much that is, how much infinite, almost seemingly resources they have. They can't walk and chew gum at the same time, right?
Yeah.
They can't both make their consumer base and their console space and the PC space and all that happy while keeping their eye on the ABK ball, right? So, and you can see that right now, like, they had to take their eye off the ball in order to keep ABK afloat. And now ABK seemingly is done. And here they are again with a bunch of whiz bang. And now we're ready to market Starfield. Now, even though arguably in between that time, they did release some interesting things as well. I'm not taking anything away from them there, but it just seems like they're either focused here or they're focused there. And because of that, I kind of wanted to focus them back on the games again, because I enjoy when they do that. Let's let the background stuff slide for a while. Let's let games be the focus for the next couple. I'm looking forward to, and obviously Starfield will do that. Either it's the greatest game ever or it's horrible, which I doubt it will be horrible, but I suspect that no matter what it ends up being, it will be huge news.
Yeah, I at this point, and from what the quote unquote insider leaks that we've heard, Paris Lily's a pretty good judge of of someone that's gonna hear some stuff. I just don't see. I think the whole thing that's going to be in any way bad is washed away.
Yeah.
Could it be game of the year? A lot of people think that's going to get a lot of hate because of fanboys and such. But man, Starfield is to me is like it's the game, and it's coming out.
Listen, it's got a lot of heavy hitting contenders this year.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3, which was a lot of people were shocked. To see that game do as well as it did. There's only 4 critic reviews, but so far it's at a 94 on Meta and then 9.2 with like almost 1,000 user reviews. So that might be a contender. Wow. There's also Diablo 4. I know people are mad about it now, but that was a heavy hitter for some time. And then of course, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, phenomenal.
That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be a hard one to beat, I think.
Yeah.
Of course, Bethesda, they do have Game of the Year contender games, obviously, but with considering how heavy. Oh, and then Spider-Man. I forgot about Spider-Man. Spider-Man's gonna be probably gonna be nominated as well. So it's been a pretty good year for games so far.
Oh yeah.
To the point that you're making about Baldur's Gate, those who didn't think Baldur's Gate would be there have not been paying attention to Larian Studios.
True.
Their last game, Divinity Original Sin 2, guess where it ended up in Metacritic? 93.
Yeah.
This is what they do.
No.
Right? They are kings of that CRPG genre. That's what they do. And I said this on the show before. Just like Insomniac was giving you their resume with Sunset Overdrive, and now they're giving you they got hired for Spider-Man. They were giving you their resume with Divinity, and now they've been hired with Baldur's Gate. So all you can expect is just bigger, better things in that genre, right?
Yeah.
Now, is it anywhere close to Starfield? We shall see. I think it seems to me that we're comparing a game of the year to possibly a game of a generation, but we shall see after it all comes out and shakes. You know what I mean?
If you look at the Steam numbers, I looked at it before. 813,000 concurrent players on Baldur's Gate 3.
Mm-hmm.
This is a game that had no marketing. It is a CRPG. I will not play it. I looked at the screen. I'm like, yep, no, that's just not for Boom.
So the cool thing about their games is mostly, and I don't know if Baldur's Gate is different, but both Divinity games, you can play that whole game, any RPG, as your various classes, but you can play that whole game and not kill a single soul. You can put all your stats into talking and talk your way out of every single boss fight. Wow. And there are people who have done that. Like, it's just how crazy how many systems they put into place to let you be able to do stuff like that.
I'm excited for
you know,
anyone that's playing it right now. I know Pong Soul is playing it. I know quite a few of our friends are playing it. I enjoy. I just it's just not a game for me. I do. I mean, I am gonna say though, it is fun for a conversation that it's almost a Goliath versus the littlest thing, because you got Larian Studios. They're small. They're a small studio. They pack a punch. But just think about this team. I don't know how big the team is, a couple hundred people, versus what's going to be arguably game of the generation in Starfield. And remember, folks, what we saw in June, that code was at least 6 months old, and they've been polishing and polishing and when it releases in, I think it's like 27 or 26 days, we are going to be in for a treat. And like I said, this year, Luke, I agree with you. I don't know I don't know how my list is going to look, but it's going to be crazy. I don't know how I'm going to be able to find 10 games and then, of course, figure out which one of those 10 games is going to be my game of the year, because it could be something as small as Double Dragon or something as big as Starfield and everything in between. Like Tears of the Kingdom is a masterclass level Nintendo title. I'm at the 4th boss now. It's just brilliant. It's the building mechanics in that game are so crazy. Like if you dream it, you could logistically build it. It's bonkers.
Yeah, that's that is amazing, because you can, I mean, jump in and like focus in on just building ships, or focus in on collecting resources, or focus in on story mode, or there's so many things you can do without, and still not even, complete the game, but just, 1,000 planets, 1,000 different worlds to explore and or harvest from. It's crazy. It's insane. It's so awesome that this is finally, I mean, wow. Yeah, we are, like we're probably a week or so away from it going gold. From them.
Yeah, Kingfish and Ben Miller. It's officially 25 days away, which is,
there you go.
I can't wait.
And by the way, anytime and every time Starfield is spoken about and I'm around, I must put this into the ether, because I've already said it. Microsoft is listening. You showed us amazing shipbuilding. I need you to let me 3D print my ship IRL. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
That'd be cool.
Take my money. Just let me print whatever ship. when I finish building the Nebuchadnezzar, let me print it and put it on my desk right here. Please, I will pay.
Nice.
You
know what? And when the modders get into it too, I'm hoping for them to come up with some crazy stuff, like Millennium Falcon or whatever.
Oh yeah, you're sure those will happen. Yeah, absolutely.
I know. Yeah. For me, it's the Eagle from Space 1999. Most people don't even know what the hell that is, but
I watched that on TV,
spaceship.
brother. That's an old classic 70s joint. Yeah.
Well, I'm old, Boom. Older than
I'm
you
old
even.
as well, so there you go.
There you go. Exactly. Luke is like, you old people. What am I doing in here?
Now.
Goodness.
We consider ourselves seasoned. Calm down.
Seasoned veterans.
Old? What's wrong? What are you talking about?
Yes, you guys,
seasoned.
Nothing but love and respect for the boys.
Appreciate that.
I love that Luca has respect for her elders.
That's great.
Just in this case.
Come on.
Yes. Come on, mister.
We were leaving unscathed and you had to do that. What are you doing today?
Oh, goodness. Well, as we start to wrap things up, because I know Luca and Mr. Boomstick both have to go here in the next, few, maybe 5 or so minutes. But I want everybody in the chat, if you are watching the show, we have over 150 people watching live right now. Nice. So thank you so much for being here. All you need to do is in the chat. So whether it's on your phone, on your computer, or get to one, if you don't have one, pull up your phone, pull up the show, and type in #Xbox, and that's all lowercase, for your chance to win the Xbox mini fridge. And that's anybody. The only person who can't win is me. And that's everybody is eligible. If you put your name and stuff in there, then or you put your put the code in, then you are eligible. And the picker is going to be doing it here in a few minutes. I literally I'd say less than 3 minutes. We're going to hit that hit the spin button on it. So this is your last chance to jump in. Everybody jump in. You know, we want somebody to win, and this is just the first. We'll be doing more giveaways in the future, but we wanted to have a good one tonight. RHETRI and me talked about this for a while, that we wanted to do a giveaway. I found a good deal on one, so I bought it and put it away until we wanted to find a spot, an opportunity to give it away. And then we feel very blessed tonight to have Mr. Boomstick and ASHEN LUCA on. So with them on tonight, we decided, it's to be a good night for a giveaway. And then our buddy Asante is filling in tonight for RHETRI. Thank you so much for that. Greatly appreciate you, sir. So everybody, get to going on it. Hashtag Xbox and just put it in the chat. And that's even people that are modders are eligible too. So don't, just because I've made you a modder doesn't mean you can't win. Everybody's eligible, and we're going to have more giveaways in the future. We're going to do some gift cards and things like that. So,
Nice.
but this is just a first one to get started. And I guess as RHETRI would say, pop the cherry. Alrighty then. To get going on that. So we're a few more minutes on that on the picker. I guess as we're doing that, we'll go ahead and start going around the horn with ASHEN LUCA and with Mr. Boomstick, and get their get their outros, and then before
Ladies
they pop
first,
off,
of
we'll do
course.
the spin while they're still here. So LUCA, thank you so much for being here. I cannot thank you enough. Even with the loss of power, and then you jump back on. Thank you like a trooper. We appreciate that. I'm going to drop your YouTube channel link in the chat for everybody to click on that. So please click on that and go to subscribe to her channel. The SCUMCAST is amazing, and LUCA does not hold back, and that's what we love most about her. LUCA, tell us all about it.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties.
Not your fault.
But I, tried to fix it and get here as fast as I could. So I had a great time with you boys. And again, thanks for having me. I'm on Twitter at the ASHEN LUCA. I talk a lot about anime a lot. So if you're interested in that, come through.
Nice. Again, LUCA, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you and your time. So thank you so much, and congratulations on your new job too, by the way.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so
Yes,
excited.
that's right. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
To you, man. That's
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
very happy about it. It's a step in the right direction for my career in IT. So
Love it.
Fantastic,
Love it.
fantastic.
Well, you're in a
Yay,
great.
we're rooting for you.
You're at your age, you have a great
forward mobility,
mindset,
Yes.
and IT is the way to go, because it's only tech is only getting bigger and broader, and you're in a good field. Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, and we all support you and are rooting for you. So there you go. All right, Mr. Boomstick XL, buddy, tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, I don't think there's 150 people here. I mean, for crying out loud, I'm more happy with the fact that I got a chance to hang out with LUCA, which was awesome. Hang out with you, Dave. Obviously, I do that twice a week on Mondays and Fridays. Of course, on Wednesdays, I hang out with Asante on Primetime Gaming. Listen, folks, if you're just finding me for the first time, it's at Mr. Boomstick XL on Twitter. I just passed, I can't believe it, 12,000 people, followers, which is crazy.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you, that's just insane. And we have we're heading towards 14K on the channel at the Double Barrel Gaming. If you want consistent content, I stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. That's right, 5 live shows, all different panels, all different shows, but we don't sell hate to get you click a like. We have fun. We talk about games, and check it out.
Fantastic. Boom. Again, thank you so much for making the time tonight. Please thank Mrs. Boomstick as well, because she is, she behind the scenes, she is the rock that keeps you going.
There is no doubt. She is definitely the rock.
So so we love all the stuff that she does for you and in the community as well. So it's awesome. So there's Gaming Forte, a little comment there, LUCA, put it on the screen for you. Well, yeah, nice.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. So this is we're getting ready to hit the picker button. So if you haven't done it, do it now. This is your last chance. Type in hashtag Xbox in the chat. So we'll give everybody just like another 30 seconds. So hashtag Xbox in the chat, and then I'm going to hit the picker button, and we're going to see what happens right before everybody gets out of here. Dun, 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 dun,
But you
dun,
guys are
dun.
going to hang around, right? So obviously there's still
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
recording stuff, so
We'll
don't go
stick
anywhere,
around.
folks. Listen, it's just me and Luke. We have things to do. But
Yeah.
hang out with Dave and Asante.
Yeah.
So.
And hashtag ponybots will not win you anything. I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Now they're having fun with
Okay.
each other.
The
Too
pony
funny.
bot.
Too funny.
Great.
Hey, I see you there, Decado. Hashtag PCMR. That'll win you a lot with me. Don't worry, it's fine. May not win you anything here, but you still get my vote, sir. It's all good.
All right. That's awesome. All right, let's pull that off the screen and okay.
Winner. Who is the big winner, Dave?
Dun, 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 and hit the draw button and see what happens. Oh wow, okay, it's oh, probably should have done a share screen on that. That would have been nice.
Nah, that's
Let's see here. Oh, and our winner is
Oh, the man himself.
Mr. Joanna Dark.
Oh,
Mr.
shout out to
Joanna
the
Dark.
bro.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's excellent.
There we go. Congratulations, Mr. Joanna
Congrats, man.
Dark. You are
That's
the
awesome.
winner of an Xbox mini fridge. Congratulations.
Look at you.
Awesome. I know,
That's
I know,
awesome.
right? I know. There we go. So that's cool. But guys, I can't thank you both of you guys enough for
Our
being
pleasure,
here
bro.
tonight. Thank you so much. Get that out of the way. Again, hopefully in the future we'll have both of you back on again, maybe
Sure.
different episodes or whatever. But the invitation is always out there. If you ever got anything on your mind, Luca, you want to make it known on this channel,
Yes.
you send me a message and you are in the door. I'm just letting you know.
Sounds good
Thanks,
to me,
guys.
my boy. And of course, you're welcome on my show anytime as well.
I'd love to do that. I think that we need to
I've been
work
on
that
the
out.
SCUMCAST quite a bit in
Yeah.
my career, and it's always been a fun
It's always
place.
fun.
It is.
Yeah.
We always have a laugh. Yeah, it's great.
I would love to do that. Awesome. Well, I'll let you guys jump out. Thanks again.
All
Thank
right.
you
All
so
right.
much for being here. Thanks you,
See you
buddy.
guys later again.
Good
I
morning.
loved being on the show with you guys. It was good, especially good to catch up with Boom. So yes. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey.
Awesome. Hey, Kay, what's up?
Oh, it's been a great show so far. What else you have on the docket for us, sir?
I have an open slate. I just actually, to be honest, I just kind of, for the last, 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long we want to stick
Okay.
around, let's just kind of, what do you want to talk about? Is there anything coming up or anything going on that, right now that you can see that you're looking forward to or anything, or, I don't know.
Oh,
I know you usually talk about your
honestly,
shows too.
No. We can continue talking Starfield because that's what I was talking about the all weekend. Like that's
There
what I've
you
been
go.
talking about with my boy the whole weekend. Everborn, we've been chopping it up. It's just difficult to play other games right now because I'm afraid to jump into something major, for fear of having to drop it because I'm in between so many good little light games, Double Dragon being one of them. But I can't like for instance, Final Fantasy 16. Heard glowing things, want to play it, can't really get into it because I'm kind of Starfielded right now. I'm kind of in that mindset. I have to play small games instead of the big thing. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I mean, I know if you were paying close attention when we went around the horn talking about what games everybody's playing, I didn't mention a game because this last couple of days I haven't been playing anything kind of on purpose, and I really don't know that I'm going to play anything now until Starfield. I think
this is my thing.
I think I'm getting some other things knocked out, things I need to do around the house, stuff like that, get it done because when Starfield comes out and I've got I can't think of what it's called. It's the big $300 edition coming, and for PC, which another nice thing they said it's going to be, I guess, not cross play, but it's going to be
progression. Cross progression with consoles as well. Yeah.
So if you buy it digitally, you play on consoles, you can play it on PC, and you're without any extra money or any cost to you, which is fantastic.
Now some people were confused about that because they were like, "Isn't that the way it always is?" Yes, it's the way it always is in the Windows Store version.
Yes,
but this is also the Steam version also. So if you buy the Steam version, you also have cross progression with the Xbox version. So that's still real cool. Like they really centralized it. So I'm really happy about that because I game everywhere, and being able to just pick up one that was the Achilles heel for me on Hogwarts Legacy. I had to roll different characters because console versus PC.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. But no, this it's an awesome idea that they unify it all. Yes, I also got the Constellation Edition. I'm a
thanks,
sucker
Ben.
for a good
Appreciate
watch.
that, Ben Miller, for putting that up there. I just drew a blank, couldn't think of what it was. and on a we'll still talk about Star Wars. That's not a problem. Or Star Wars, Starfield. Jesus Christ, long day. That
we can talk about Star Wars.
we talk about Star Wars too, sure. That another game that early contender of the year talks was Hogwarts Legacy, which is still a fantastic game. And
which to this very day is the top selling game of the year to this day, even though others have come and you know, like changed the conversation. Still by the numbers, it's winning to this very day.
Yeah, and that's it's crazy. But another thing too, with people talking about like the Keeleys, for example, you know, they have the quote unquote game of the year, and there'll be however many people or games that are available for that. But I mean, there is also the RPG of the year. There's fighting game of the year. There's the sport/driving game of the year. I mean, there's so many categories.
Games of the year, yeah.
That can still, you know, I hope that it gets spread out. You know, I hope that it's not like, you know, one game to win them all kind of thing. You know.
Yeah, so. No, I know, but you know what? On that conversation, on the Keeley topic. That is a conversation that's worth having a little bit, like because what Boomstick was saying, and shout out to ASHEN LUCA, she was saying as well, like who's gonna win this year? Like even in the narrative filled, you know, agenda filled, they might not win on the merits or whatever, you know. Even in the years where you can always have something to say about, hey, this one won because, or this is the Sony pick, or whatever. He was, you know, if you think it's not winning on the merits, this year there are at least 2, if not 3 contenders that have every right to win. Like in Tears of the Kingdom, because people will riot if it doesn't win. In Starfield, unless it comes out broken, which who knows, we shall see. But by all accounts, it will be what we see it will be. Right, and people even talking Remnant 2 right now. People are talking about Hogwarts Legacy still, right? Like that is, you know, that is such stiff competition. Okay, Hogwarts Legacy, throw that out of the way because it started with some controversy. Okay, but are you telling me that it's an easy cut and dry situation between Tears of the Kingdom and the rest of them? Like it's crazy. Not to mention Mario Brothers, Mario. You know, like there's just so much happening. Like even in our cesspool filled narratives, sometimes I think it's not a cut and dry situation. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's tough, you know, because some people, you know, talk about you know, how you know, a Diablo should be, you know, game of the year, and then all of a sudden,
there you go.
You know, Baldur's Gate 3 should be game of the year, and I'm like, but to me, I mean, they're great games, they're beautiful games. I haven't played either one of those. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like they don't really have a horse in that race for me. I mean, right or wrong, but you know.
What about what Good Vibes VR here says? Maybe even RE8 Village.
Yeah,
because a lot of people have considered it, and I think that's a Travis Shamocracy. I'm sorry, that game has, as great as it is, it's been re-released, remade umpteenth times. If it wins Game of the Year, it says, we're devoid of new ideas. Come on. Even though it looks like it's the greatest version of that game, it still tells me that we have no more fresh ideas or something. I don't know.
Exactly. It's to me, you know, I'm kind of on the side that, you know, if it was completely redone from scratch, had the name and maybe some of the story, and they reworked it, but it was basically just a refreshed, high-end, souped-up version of the original, which was beautiful.
The ultimate version of this one,
right?
It's the ultimate version of the original. But can you then give it a new award for that? So. I don't know.
I wouldn't.
Even though it's an amazing game, don't get me wrong. Please put the pitchforks down, people. I think it's an amazing game. I just think it was amazing even back with tank controls, and it's gotten better and better and better and better, and they just keep refining it. And I love that they refine it, but can it be considered a new game of the year when all these other fresh ideas are among them competing?
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
So, I mean, there's so many, good games out there. It's it's kind of like the Oscars. I wish you could put 10 in that category instead of just the 5 that they usually do, or at least for that
True.
particular category, because it would just open up. Because for some of even though there's some amazing games out there that won't win or don't win, for them being nominated for Game of the Year carries so much weight for them in continued sales and growth and the development of and really, I guess, helps put focus on the hard work that those dev teams
Mhm.
are putting in. And to me, I think that's that's something that really is something that needs to be called out. I mean, there's some people that would be like, well, Starfield should win Game of the Year because it's been worked on for and thought of worked on for over 10 years. This is from Todd Howard, who's a master game designer who and it's agreed. He's fantastic. And should it be Game of the Year nomination? Even though I haven't played it yet, I have a feeling it's probably should be nominated, even though it has but I don't know if it's necessarily the winner.
Sure.
And there's a deadline for a reason as to when games can go in, and I believe the deadline is sometime in November. I believe early November.
Although they've played a little fast and loose with that in the past, so
They have.
if it's important enough, they'll get it in.
Yeah.
Actually, interesting to that point, right? We talked a little bit about Paris Lilly talking about
Mhm.
hey, what he's heard.
Yep.
What I've heard is the problem with that game is good luck reviewing it on time.
Oh yeah.
It's a monster of a title. They'll have to give it to reviewers months in advance for them to actually get a good grasp of the content that they're looking at. And so chances are reviewers, those who you won't have seen even an iota of the percentage of content in it when you're making your review, right? Will that all play into whether or not this game hits that threshold or not? Because how long will you get it before you get to review it? Isn't Bethesda the team that not too long ago made the decision to just give people codes right when the game releases rather than before? They used to do that.
Mhm.
Even I think Fallout 4 they did that, right? So imagine you do that with Starfield. When will people put out a review for that game?
Yeah. Well, and
and
we know that there's people that are playing it now.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, there are some. Yes.
So
maybe that's what's happening. Okay.
Maybe there is some people that are under review embargo
Mm-hmm.
that have copies way early that are possibly for that reason. Maybe they gave them to them 2 months out so they could play the game, and probably you can let them know it's it's still not quite the polished final build, but yeah. So I they could do that, and Jez has talked about Jez Corden from Xbox 2. I've talked to him, but don't know him personally. But super cool guy. I respect him so much, and he has mentioned several times that that there's can't talk about what I'm playing right now, and of course your mind starts wandering, and of course everybody always gives grief to Colt,
Sure,
So,
yeah,
Colt,
yeah.
what are you playing now? And he's like, nothing, just playing around with my kids. Oh, really? Is that a so who knows? And even to be honest, Paris Lilly himself could actually have a review copy because he's a journalist and in the business, and possible.
So one weird behind the scenes thing, and I will share that because it's a community here. We're not hiding things. So Starfield, Bethesda, that is, did put out a key mailer. I don't know if you remember this, a key mailer request some weeks ago. And for those who I think you know what Keymailer is, right?
Yes.
They put out a Keymailer request for something, and of course, I, being the dutiful content creator I am, I immediately went and requested it because and this was when June 16th is when they put this out. I'm looking at my request now, and it's been sitting there, and I think no one in that network has gotten their request accepted yet. So at least within the Keymailer network, which they requested, no one's gotten a key yet.
That is very interesting that you
Is it
say
not?
that. And you know why I say that is because I got an email.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
Oh, he's putting on the bifocals. Let's go. What's going on?
Old man got to see.
That's
you know,
right.
and that's a funny thing about it. Let's see here. Keymailer. Well, there you go. Your YouTube channel for Link WebDave has expired.
Mm-hmm.
Please update your channel again so you can continue to benefit from Keymailer. I think I'm going to get on that here after the show and make sure.
Yes, sir. If that is the message they sent you, sir, you better get on that right quick because Keymailer is a pretty good resource. It really is.
Yeah. So we may be talking later in a DM. Just saying. So yeah. That's
yes. So yeah, for those who are not aware, Keymailer is a tool, a web tool that is used that basically connects content creators with publishers. So and I'm saying this because others didn't say it to me, so I'm saying this to so maybe it'll benefit you. Go on there. You got a YouTube channel? Go on there, sign up to Keymailer. As your YouTube channel grows and they see that you talk games or whatever else, when you request things, they might be likely to say yes and then give you access to whatever you're looking for, whatever game that may be. So, what was it? On June 16th, Bethesda put out there, hey, content creators, go request on Keymailer for Starfield. And as soon as they did that, I went, request, and it's been sitting there ever since. Myself and presumably everyone else on Keymailer who did that is still waiting. So that means whoever's playing this game is still internal or very close, right? They haven't let it permeate the zeitgeist just enough yet because they're probably afraid of leaks.
Right. As we're talking, I'm logging into Keymailer. So anyway, I won't share my screen. Oh, looky there. All right. So yeah, interesting. That's very interesting. Did you see what I pulled up on the screen? Oh,
if
Ray.
Only, sir. If only. And Ray, if I've already said it, they're watching and they're listening. Hey, I got a liquid cooled 4090. I don't care what you got. My baby will handle it. There's a it's waiting for you. Just the key will be in the inbox. Just hand it to me. It's all good. I promise I won't tell a soul. I have headphones waiting for it and a controller over there too. So there you go.
There you go. So awesome. Asante, thank you so much for being here tonight. I want to throw this up on screen so everybody knows who our winner tonight of the Xbox mini fridge, and the picker picked out Mr. Joanna Dark. So congratulations! I've actually messaged him here because I think he stepped out of the show toward the end, so he might not even know he's the winner yet. But he knows now because I sent him a message because I need to get his address and know where to send it to. So there we go on that. So Asante, please and go a little more in depth on your new show. Obviously, you got the Circle podcast, which I absolutely love. That you and Everborn are amazing to watch. But you have a new show with John Wolf that talks about computers and stuff. And explain to people what you talk about on the show and when that airs.
Thank you. No, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me. I feel honored to be the second chair. RHETRI is a big shoe to fill. He has big shoes to fill, and I feel like if I did it in any small way, I appreciate it. I love this show, so to be on is always great to be able to be allowed to be part of the show. I think it's excellent. So about my show, so let's see. So yes, we do the Gaming Circle podcast on Saturdays, and we have fun with the community as we do, and we enjoy it there. But so not too long ago, it started becoming more apparent to me that either folks' thoughts on PC gaming was either expired and they're still they weren't aware of it, or maybe some narratives were being peddled that weren't necessarily accurate, right? And so I thought, hey, you know, at the time, myself and John, we communicate a lot. Great member of the community. I talked to a bunch of folks in this community in the DMs on x.com. Every time I say that, I feel like I need to take a shower. Anyway, so I was talking to him, and he was going relatively to a similar journey. He had just bought a Steam Deck, and we were talking about it. And we were giving pointers and tips and stuff like that. And he basically went full bore into the PC world, and really like started diving deep and doing retro games and emulation and all this, John. And I kind of helped him in his initial journey. So I thought it would be super interesting to put together a show with myself and John, and you know, kind of he asks the questions that are pertinent to him as a new gamer in the PC sphere, and we take it as an opportunity to learn and you know, learn things. And I learn things all the time as well. I think it's awesome. So you know, if you want to check that out, that is the Gamers Playground. All parties are welcome, whether you are console or non-console, you're PC or not, all are welcome. And of course, we do this on Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. We try to keep it a brisk hour and a half max. But you know, we talk games, we do tech tips, we do, you know, various things that I do that I think is, you know, second hand. But people will go, really? You use that? And people just never knew. And you know, it's fun, and I get awesome feedback from the community. They teach me new things all the time, and I teach folks stuff. So it's just really cool to be able to carve a small niche of PC gaming talk, you know, within the Twitter sphere and YouTube and all that. So come check us out. I think it's awesome. I'm having a lot of fun doing so, and I appreciate y'all coming and checking us out, and you know, maybe being a part of it. You know,
Definitely. It is a great show, and the thing I like about it is that you don't talk over people's heads. In other words, you know, even though there's some stuff that's technical, you explain it in a way that's understandable, and you even said too that, you know, like if you have a question, you know, reach out to you in a DM, and that's you know, that's pretty awesome. So it's definitely worth watching. It's worth getting into, and you and John have a nice rapport. Kind of a little spicy at times. Reminds me of another duo.
It's amazing, right? It's amazing how I always get saddled with Sega stands who just get all spicy every time you say something about Sega. Like, oh Lord, you know?
Oh, that is funny. Yeah, exactly. And
so I will leave you with one quick story. Myself, Everborn, who's my Saturday co-host, and John Wolf, who's my Monday co-host, all have a bet, and I think I'm going to win this bet, and that is coming out this year, as if we didn't have enough games to play. Sonic Superstars versus Mario Wonder. Who's going to take it? I say Elephant Tusk Mario takes everything, including even besting Spider-Man 2. Yes, I said that. Wow. And they are on the other side saying the rat will win every week. It's ridicule. I can't wait till those numbers come out. We shall see.
I have a feeling you're going to be the big winner on that one. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm thinking you're going to collect some knees and hopefully have a side bet going.
And when he loses, by the way, he's going to put Sonic sucks and Mario is better on his tweet on his timeline on every social media he can to prove that he is once and for all a loser. These are the bets, ladies and gentlemen. These are the bets. So come check us out.
Good times. And I love your Saturday show too. Tell everybody where they can reach out to you, where they can find you. And appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's TKO Asante on Xbox, Twitter, PlayStation, all the odd places we find ourselves, the x.coms and the Blue Sky. I have a Blue Sky account now.
Nice.
Come check us out. Actually, I have invites to Blue Sky. If anybody's interested, DM me. I may have one or two still left. You know, come check us out. You follow me, I follow you back. Love talking games with the community. You know, I always enjoy communicating with folks who talk about games, podcasts, and all of that stuff too. So, you know, it's always great to be able to do this. So thank you guys so much for the continued support.
Awesome. Again, thank you for being here and for filling in for RHETRI. And with that said, RHETRI couldn't be here tonight because his mother passed away a few nights ago, and our hearts go out to him and his family. He's a big part of this show. We wouldn't have gotten as far without him teaming up with me. When I reached out, he was the first person I asked, and he was the first person to say yes. So it was I'm very, very blessed to work with Ryan. Yes, that's his real name, and he's a super great guy, and is a great family, and he's really good at what he does, and that is editing and stuff. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. This episode is dedicated to his mother, just to let everybody know. And thank you all so much for joining us. Next week we'll be on the roll again. And the last little thing I will say is that I am dropping an episode tomorrow of the Outbreak Gamers, and Outbreak episode tomorrow. So I think it's episode 72, I think, and it is with Hip Hop Gamer, the one and only Hip Hop Gamer. Yeah, and it is a very feel good, high powered, positive interview. So if you want to be pumped up and excited, definitely check this out, because he's a very interesting cat, and you found out a lot about him on the interview tomorrow, which drops at 6 a.m. in the morning. So there you go. Again, Asante, thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate you, sir. Thank you for everything you do and for being a stellar member of the community. Thanks to everybody for joining us tonight at Gamers Council.
Game over.